Hello. So, let's start with today's session. Today I'm going to explain you about if-else statement. That is your chapter 3. Okay. For the first chapter, I introduced the basic things. I told you all about scanner variables. And in chapter 2 again the scanner class was used. So you again used the scanner class to convert some of the variables. Now your third chapter is all about if-else statements. For that, I will use the same package, calculations. I will create a new class in this package, Java class. This class name will be if statements. Finish. I cannot write if else or something like that because these words are specific for the code. So it may give you an error. First of all, as you know, what we have to do is we have to write the main method public static void main string. All words with a small letter, not the capital. But this string must be with the capital. And then you have to open the parentheses to start the main method. Alright. So here we're going to write our main functionality of if-else statement. I want to display some of the birthdays of user. First of all, I want to ask the user to enter his date of birth by selecting different sets, by having a look into different sets of the numbers, and he has to write if his birthday comes in set number 1. For example, let me tell you, my question is, user has to enter either 1 or 0. 1 if his date of birth comes in set number 1. Again, if his date of birth is in set number 1, system will display his birthday. Okay. Similarly, we will do with the set number 2, set number 3. You can see we are asking from the user to enter the number. So for this, what we have to use? Scanner, of course. Now, after his insertion, whatever he will insert the number, we have to use if else, and to display we have to use system.out.println. right? Beside this all, scanner class, if else statements and system.out.println method, you must know about some of the basic things. Number one, your class name. Number two, main method. Number three, parenthesis, and start your coding in main method. Okay, so you must know about the class name. You have to write the perfect if you are writing the code on a paper, but if you are using NetBeans, for sure it will give you automatically, it will write your class name. But what you have to do is you have to write the main method. Inside the main method, you have to write your functionality. So today I'm going to explain you the if-else statements by using scanner, because in chapter 1 and chapter 2 we already used scanner. So we will use the scanner continuously. Okay, so here we will start with the main functionality of using if and else statements. Alright, here I have written some of the comments to just show you what steps do you need to follow. First of all, you need to declare your variables. Then you have to assign the values to your variables. Next, this is also a variable you have to declare. After declaring the variables, you have to create the scanner class to ask the user to enter the number. Then you have to display the message of asking the user to enter either 1 or 0. Whatever the user will enter, you have to use if-else statements to continue the functionality according to the user's insertion of number. First of all, let's declare the variable. I want to provide some of the string sets to the user. String. I want to give it set1 name. This is just, if I close it like this is initialization, declaration. It is declaration. I want to initialize it also in the same line. So I will remove semicolon and I will insert equality and I will add all the numbers. But as we are using string, so string always comes up in inverted commas. And at the end you need to have a semicolon to close your variable declaration and initialization. The sets that I want to give you the user is, let's suppose 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Okay. Similarly, what I can do is, over here I can add /n so that the user can go to the next line. Okay. Here you can see I have added the different numbers. This is my set number 1. You can see I have written each line in inverted commas. I have added the different numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Let's remove 9 from here as we have 9 over here also. Okay, and this /n, this is used for the new line. Okay, this is used to have, for example, this line, when 1357 will be displayed, the next numbers 11, 13 and 15 will be displayed in the next line. Similarly, if I remove this from here, what will happen? After 15 on the same line, 17, 19, 21, 30, 23 will also appear over here. And the remaining 25, 27, 29, 31 will appear after this line. So I want each in a different line. So I need this. Similarly, I will add the other sets also. In total, I will add 5 sets. Okay, 5 sets. So I have added set number 1, set number 2, set number 3, set number 4, set number 5. You can see that I have added all these as a string values. So for the string we need inverted comma. One more thing, if you want to add this line and you want to have more lines, then you need to add this plus sign so that you can have more values. And here I already told you. One more thing that I want to tell you is, what you can do is string, you can declare set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4 and set 5 over here. Okay, and you can remove set 1 string from here. You can just write set 1 equals to this. You can remove all strings because I have already declared all these sets as string values over here, and here I'm just initializing, I'm just assigning the values to each set. My set 1 is this, my set 2 is this, 3 is this, 4 is this, 5 is this. Okay, so it is just like this. So here is all of my sets. Okay, set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5. Either you can do this way or either you can declare also or over here again and again. So instead of doing this declaration again and again, you can just declare all the values over here, all the variables, and then you can initialize all the values to each variable over here. We are done with step number 1. Step number 1 is declaration of variables and assigning the values to the variables. So you have to declare the variables first of all. Next is you have to declare another variable, that is day. So what I will do is day equals to 0 this. There is an error of course because I did not declare this day. The system is asking me from where you get this variable. This variable is not declared anywhere. So what you can do is you can declare over here day. Day must be integer. Okay, and you can use this day over here. Or another way that you can do is you cannot do like this. You can just declare over here int day equals to 0. You can do either way. You can declare all the variables here and you can initialize them over here. Now we are done with the declaration of all variables. Okay, next, this is very common logic in all the codings, because whenever you have to do some of the coding, it is very normal that you have to first check your class, then you have to write your method, main method, and in the main method, first of all you have to declare all the variables. After declaring and initializing all the variables, you have to come up with your functionality. I want user to enter his number. First of all, if I want something from user to enter, so I have to use the scanner class. So I'm going to declare scanner s same, then I'm going to create it. Okay. Now, when I'm done with the declaration of scanner s, and then I have created this new scanner with system.in. The system is asking you something to write in. Here the error is I did not import the library for the scanner class. So what I have to do is I have to import it. For the import, the statement is over here. Import java.util.scanner. If you are in your examination hall and you have to write the code on a paper, so you must learn that what you have to write for the importing of scanner class. So you have to write import java.util.scanner. You must be very careful that the Java, J of Java is small, util, U of util is small, and each is separated with the dot. So java.util.scanners. Each class must start with the capital letter. So we have used the scanner class. So I'm writing it with the capital letter. We are done with the creating of scanner class. Okay. Next, we have to ask from the user to enter system.out.println. I want user to enter 0 if your date of birth is in set 1. Enter 1 if your date of birth is in set 1. It's not. 0 if your date of birth is not in set 1, and enter 1 if your date of birth is in set 1. How the user will see set 1? Set 1 is over here, but how we have to display this set 1 to the user? Whenever you hear this word display, the first thing must come in your mind must be the system.out.println, because system.out.println is a method for your displaying of messages. Okay, so we are not going to write in inverted commas because I want to display set 1. Whenever you want something from the user to enter, for example, I want user to see the exact statement, so you have to write in inverted commas. But if you want something from the object that you have already declared, then you have to write that object variable in the brackets. So what the system will do, system will catch this set1. It will find out where the set1 is declared. Set1 is over here. Okay, so I have to display this number. So it will display this number in front of you. Now when the user will see enter 0 if DOB is not in set1, this both will be displayed at the same time. Okay. Now when the user can see that when the user can see the set1, he has to enter 0 if the date of birth is not in set1. Now we have to use if-else statements on these insertions of numbers from the user. For example, if user enters 0, do this. If user enter 1, then do this. Okay. Once the user will enter the number either 0 or either 1. So what will be the next thing? The next thing is we have to take that number from the user. So for that, as we know in the scanner class that we used to take that number from the user, for that we used a simple statement. As we know that the number that the user will enter is integer, okay, so what we have to do is we can just declare any number, int number equals to next int. Wait. Why I wrote this input? I cannot use this input because I'm getting the number from the user by using the scanner class. So whatever I have declared over here, I have to use the same variable over here. Okay. If I would write input over here, input, then I have to write input over here. Otherwise, it will not recognize that what number the system has to take from the user. So the scanner input equals to new, or either you can write just s, and over here you can also just write s. Okay, now the system will get from the user the number. Now I have to use if-else statements. If the user has entered 0, then what the system has to display, and if the user has entered 1, then what the system has to display. Okay. Alright, so what we have to do is we have to check whether the user has entered 1 or 0. For example, if we say the user has entered 1, if answer this equals to 1, because we are getting the number in this variable. Okay, so we have to use this variable over here. If answer equals to 1 means if the user has insert answer 1, then what we have to do is we have to take the day from here, that is equals to 0, and we have to increment it with the 1. Okay, because our set over here is 1 3 5 7 9. There is a difference of one number in each number. That's why we have to add increment with the one number so that we can display his date of birth. Now next, what if the user has his birthday in set number 2? We have to ask again. Enter 0 if your date of birth is not in set 2. Enter 1 if your date of birth is in set 2. So what we have to display is set 2. Again, what we have to do is if answer equals to 1 means the user has entered 1. What we have to do is day, we have to increment it with the 2 because our set number 2 is having the difference of two numbers 2 3 6 7 10 11 14 15. Similarly, we will ask from the user about set number 3. if his birthday is set number 3, if answer equals to 1, what I have to do is take 4 because there is a difference of 4 numbers in set number 3. Now we have to go for set number 4. We are repeating the same because the functionality is same for all the sets. There is a difference of 8 numbers. That's why I have to add 8. Similarly, I have to ask from the user about my last set, that is set number 5. Here I have to increment with the 16. Now we have to display. System.out.println your birthday is, we have to display the day because the day will calculate his correct date of birth according to his selection, either 0 or either 1. Okay, let's run this code, but before that let's have a review. First of all, we have our class name, we have the main method. Inside the main method, first of all, we have to declare all the variables and we have to initialize them with their values. You must know if it is string value, then you have to write in inverted commas. If you want to display in multiple lines your values, then you have to use /n as an icon to display the numbers in the next line. Similarly, you have to use the scanner class to ask the user to enter a number. Here you have to first declare the scanner as equals to, then you have to create the new scanner class. You have to ask the user to enter 0 if his date of birth is in set number 1, if his date of birth is not in set number 1, and enter 1 if his date of birth is in set number 1. You have to display set number 1 in front of him. Then the answer variable is declared to get the value from the user. And here you have to use the same variable that you have declared over here for the scanner class. As we are getting from the user the integer value, so we have to use next int. If it would be any other, like the type of the data, if it would be any other like double, string, then we have to use next string, next double, next float, next long, like this. But as we are having 0 and 1 only the integers, so we are using next int. Then we are using if else statements. If answer is equals to 1, means the user has entered 1. So what we have to do is we have to calculate the day and we have to display in front of the user. Here you can see I have only used if statement. If you want to use else statement also, then what you have to do is you have to add like different statements with the separate if else, if else, if else. Or what you can do is you can have the else statement over here. In the next tutorial I will let you know about if else both. For now I can only use to tell you how you can use the else statement within if. For that what you have to do is If you want to show the else statement, if answer equals to 1, open your parenthesis, do this all thing over here. We are closing our parenthesis of if statement. Wherever you can see the if statement is closing, you can write else. For the else, you must have the open parenthesis. You can display system.out.println. This else statement will be run if the user will not do any of this functionality. Or what you can do is, okay, for now I can write like this. What if user, and here the user is entering 1, okay? When it is entering 1, it can see its date of birth. But what if the user enters 0? So we can do is else, we can write if statement inside if number equals to 0, then you can just display this method. Now here it is asking that where the number is, because the number has already been used over here and we have closed this if statement, so it cannot get this number. Okay, so what we can do is, here we ask the user, okay, it will be too long for now to explain you about this, so for now let's have this only, because for that, if you want to have like, if the user is entering 1, do this. Similarly, we have to use for the 0, we have to use over here like if, for example, okay, it will be too long, but okay, for now I'm just explaining you. If, or what you can do is, you can have over here if answer equals to 1 and answer equals to 0. Instead of and, we have to use or, because or is like either 1 or 0, then do this. So this is too long to explain you all the things in one tutorial about if else. So wait for my next tutorials to explain you about the further explanations of if else. Let's run this code for now. You can use this button to build your whole project. It's about to be done, yeah. Now we can run our code. Here you can see set1 has been displayed and we are asking from the user to enter either 0 or 1. So whatever he will enter, the whole system will run. For example, if I entered 1, enter. Here you can see your birthday is 31. See? If I run it again, if I entered 1, if I entered 15, if I enter 0, your birthday is 0. That's all. Thank you.